जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Stotra Sata His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Ki Jai Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Tomorrow is Rukmini Dwadashi. It is the appearance day, Tithi, of Srimati Rukmini Devi, the eternal consort of Lord Krishna in Dwarka. So we will speak something about her glories and pastimes today and perhaps tomorrow morning. So we have selected two verses from the 52nd chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This chapter is entitled Rukmini's Message to Krishna, and the two texts are 16 and 17. Bhagavan api Govinda upaye me kurudvaha vaidarbhim bhishmakasutam shriyo matram swayamvare Pramatyatarasarajnyaha Shalvadimschaidya Pakshagan Pashyatam Sarvalokanam Tarkshaputraha Sudham Iva Bhagavan iva Govind, Bhagavan api Govinda Upayeme kurudvaha Vaidarbhim bhishmakasutam Shriyo matram swayamvare Pramatyatarasarajnyaha Shalvadimschaitya pakshakan Pashyatam sarvalokanam Tarkshaputraha sudham iva. Please chant. Bhagavanapi Govinda Swayamvare Pramatyatarasarajnyaha Shalvadimschaitya pakshakan Pashyatam sarvalokanam Matajis. Bhagavanapi Govinda Upayeme kurudvaha Vaidarbhim bhishmakasutam Shriyo matram swayamvare Pramatyatarasarajnyaha Shalvadimschaitya pakshagan Pashyatam sarvalokanam Tarkshaputraha sudham iva. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Api, indeed, Govindaha, Krishna, Upayeme, married, Kuru Udvaha, O hero among the Kurus, Parikshit, Vaidarbhim, Rukmini, Bhishmaka Sutam, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, Shriyaha, of the goddess of fortune, Matram, the plenary portion, Swayamvare, by her own choice, Pramatya, subduing, Tarasa, by force, Rajnyaha, kings, Shalva Adin, Shalva and others, Chaitya, of Shishupal, Pakshagan, the supporters, Pashyatam, as they looked on, Sarva, all, Lokanam, the people, Tarkshya Putraha, the son of Tarkshya, Garuda, Sudham, the nectar of heaven, Iva, as. Translation. O hero among the Kurus, the Supreme Lord himself, Govinda, married Bhishmaka's daughter, Vaidarbhi, who was the direct expansion of the goddess of fortune. The Lord did this by her desire, and in the process he beat down Shalva and other kings who took Shishupal's side. Indeed, as everyone watched, Sri Krishna took Rukmini just as Garuda boldly stole nectar from the demigods. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami gives the following profound comments on these two verses. The words Shriyo Matram indicate that beautiful Rukmini is a direct expansion of the eternal goddess of fortune. Therefore, she is worthy to be the bride of the personality of Godhead. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, text 67, Shriyaha Kanta Kantaha Parama Purushaha. In the spiritual world, all the female lovers are goddesses of fortune, and the male lover is the supreme personality of Godhead. Thus, Srila Jiva Goswami explains, Srimati Rukmini Devi is a plenary portion of Srimati Radharani. The Kartika Mahatmya section of the Padma Purana states, Kaishore Gopakanyasta Yovane Rajakanyakaha. In childhood, Sri Krishna enjoyed with the daughters of cowherd men, and in adolescence he enjoyed with the daughters of kings. Similarly, in the Skanda Puran, we find this statement, Rukmani Dwaravatyam tu Radha Vrindavane Vane. Rukmini is in Dwarka what Radha is in the forest of Vrindavan. The term Swayam Vare here means by one's own choice. Although the word often refers to a formal Vedic ceremony in which an aristocratic girl may select her own husband, here it indicates the informal and indeed unprecedented events surrounding Krishna's marriage to Rukmini. In fact, Sri Krishna and Srimati Rukmini chose each other because of their eternal transcendental love. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Rukmini Devi is the queen or the consort of Lord Krishna. Who can be the queen of Lord Krishna or the wife or the consort of the Supreme Lord? It cannot be any ordinary person. It has to be someone very, very special. So Rukmini Devi is considered, as per this verse, Shriyo Matram. Shriyaha, Shri refers to Lakshmi Devi. Matram refers to a plenary expansion. So Rukmini Devi is a plenary expansion of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. She is not an ordinary devotee. She is not even an extraordinary devotee. She is directly the expansion of Lakshmi Devi from the spiritual world. Now, as is indicated in the last part of the purport, Sri Krishna and Srimati Rukmini chose each other because of their eternal transcendental love. So this statement indicates that Krishna and Rukmini are eternally residing in the spiritual world together. The Supreme Lord originally is Sri Krishna of Vrindavan. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So which Govinda is being spoken about? The Govinda who is known as Shyama Sundar in Vrindavan. He is the origin of all the other forms of Godhead, of all the Vishnu Tattvas. So Krishna expands himself in the form of Balaram in Goloka Vrindavan. And further on, Krishna's expansion, Balaram expands himself into Sankarshan, then Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, and the expansions go on and on and on. How many such expansions of Krishna exist? Unlimited. And all of these are in the category of God. Full personality of Godhead. So Krishna expands himself into so many forms of himself, but they all differ in appearance from him. Sometimes, for special pastimes in Vrindavan, he may expand himself to look exactly like himself, as he did during the Rasa Leela. So that was the original form of Krishna of Vrindavan, expanding himself. Similarly, when Krishna was in Dwarka, the form of Krishna that is in Dwarka is of course the same as the Krishna of Vrindavan, because he's the same Krishna. But nevertheless, that Krishna living in Dwarka has expanded from Krishna of Vrindavan and is now relishing a different kind of mood or mellow. The level of sweetness that is there and intimacy that exists in Vrindavan does not exist anywhere else. So in other places like Mathura, Dwarka, Vaikuntha, in increasing degrees, there is more and more of Aishwarya, opulence, that comes into the sweet dealings of Krishna with his intimate devotees. So in Dwarka also undoubtedly there is sweetness, but that sweetness, that intimacy is mixed with some degree of the awareness of the majesty and the opulence and the greatness and the godhood of Krishna. There is some distance that comes because of that. In Vrindavan there is no distance. So much so that the gopis will rebuke Krishna like anything. They will taunt him, they will make fun of him. The gopas also will tease him, they will steal his tiffin box, they will climb on his shoulders. But in other places, this kind of intimacy is generally not found. So even though Dwarkadhish Krishna is the same as Vrindavan Krishna, but is still different also. It's just like the same person in the house. When he goes to the office, he's the same person, but he's in a slightly different mood. Similarly with Krishna in Vrindavan and Krishna in Dwarka. And similarly with all the other expansions of Krishna in the Vaikuntha planets. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and each of them has one presiding deity of Lord Narayan, who has 4 arms. It is only in Goloka Vrindavan that Krishna has 2 arms. Otherwise, everywhere else in the Vaikuntha planets as Narayan, he has 4 arms. So just as all the forms of Krishna, all the forms, the expansions of Krishna ultimately come from Krishna of Vrindavan, and Krishna also has his eternal consort in Goloka Vrindavan, who is Srimati Radharani. She is his internal energy. Hladini Shakti, the potency of bliss. And she is eternally living with Krishna in the spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavan. So just as Krishna expands himself into all the Vishnu Tattvas, so also Srimati Radharani, who is the original consort of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, expands herself to form all the other consorts of all these other expansions of Godhead. So therefore all the Narayana forms in Vaikuntha, who is their consort? Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi. So these Lakshmi Devis are ultimately the expansions of Radharani. The gopis, the chief gopis in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, are also the expansions of Radharani, eventually. And also in the queens of Krishna in Dwarka are also considered the expansions of Srimati Radharani, eventually. All the goddesses of fortune, all the queens of Dwarka ultimately come from Srimati Radharani. So all the forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead have their consorts. And these pairs are eternally existing in the spiritual world. And when the Lord descends here, He comes with His consort also. So even though they are eternally existing there, for the sake of performing pastimes here, it appears that they are born in different places. And then they happen to meet by some arrangement. And then there is some marriage ceremony. And sometimes the Lord may have to even enter some competition to win the hand of His eternal consort in these earthly pastimes. As Lord Ramachandra had to do for Sita, he had to lift the bow of Lord Shiva, string it, and then he broke it. And in this way he won the hand of Sita Devi in marriage. But Sita and Lord Ram are eternally living in Ayodhya in the spiritual world. But when they appear here, they appear to be born separately, and then at some point in time they meet. Similarly with Radha and Krishna. Even though they are eternally together in Goloka Vrindavan, similarly when they appear on the earth in their Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna appears in Gokul and then is Mathura and then is taken to Gokul. Radharani appears in Raval and then is taken to Varsana. And then Krishna and Radharani meet. So all these mysterious leelas are taking place to enhance the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. Also in the case of Tirupati Balaji, you know that how the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, descends where Lord Srinivas goes to perform austerities. She also descends elsewhere and does austerities, and then eventually they meet. So the same way with Krishna and Rukmini Devi also. Rukmini Devi does not come into Krishna's Leela till Krishna comes into Dwarka. Because till then, Krishna is having his Vraja Leela, wherein his companions are the gopis of Vraja. So that bhava is slightly different. In Mathura, Krishna is more like a student. So he goes to Avanti, to the Gurukul, he learns from Sandipani Muni, etc. Then when he comes to Dwaraka, now he is grown up a little bit. So now it is time for him to get married, to settle down as a grihastha. So these pastimes go on. And it is appropriate that Rukmini Devi is born in current day Amravati, near that area. It's called Kaundinyapur today, in Vidarbha area of Maharashtra. So she was born there to King Bhishmaka. Bhishmaka also was a devotee of Krishna, but he was subordinate to Jarasandha. And Krishna was living in Dwarka. And then Krishna came to kidnap Rukmini Devi, as was the custom sometimes amongst the Kshatriyas in those days. Don't try that now. But in those days, that was the custom. Some Kshatriyas would do it like that. And Krishna did it because Rukmini Devi wanted it. So Rukmini Devi appeared there, and I'll describe briefly the pastime of her marriage, or how the circumstances leading up to her wedding to Krishna. But the important thing to note is that Rukmini Devi had never seen Krishna till he kidnapped her. And remember, in those days there was no television, no WhatsApp pictures exchanged, and no such other photographs that she could see. Oh, this is the girl I want to, this is the boy I want to marry, who am I going to marry? Not like that. So how did she become attracted to Krishna, even though she had never heard of Krishna? Now this is a very important philosophical point for us. She became attracted to Krishna and decided that she wanted to marry Krishna only and only by hearing about Krishna. This is how powerful the process of Krishna Katha is. If we simply hear about Krishna, automatically our devotion to Krishna increases. There is no doubt about this. So Rukmini Devi was sitting with her father sometimes, King Bhishmaka, in the court, and many sages and great devotees would come to the court, and they would glorify Krishna as if they had 100 mouths. And everybody used to appreciate, except a few, like Rukmini's brother Rukmi, who was a friend of Shishupal. And Shishupal was extremely envious of Krishna, as we all know. So because Rukmi was a very close friend of Shishupal, he also was very jealous of Krishna, and he did not like him. But apart from that, King Bhishmaka and all the other members of the court of the king were very happy to hear this glorification of Krishna done by all the great devotees and acharyas who came there. And as a small girl also, Rukmini used to sit in the court and she used to hear this. And just by hearing, she became attracted to Krishna. So this is the power. And when the time came for her to get married, in those days, as you know, they got married at a very young age. Not like today, when boys and girls don't want to get married, well, delay, 25, 30, 35 years of age. That was not the Vedic custom. They got married quite early. So when the topic of her marriage came up, Bhishmaka knew that Rukmini wanted to marry Krishna, and he was happy with this proposal. However, Bhishmaka's son and Rukmini's brother, Rukmi, did not want that at all. He wanted Rukmini to marry Shishupal, his friend. So when Bhishmaka proposed the idea of Krishna marrying Rukmini, then Rukmi staunchly, strongly opposed this proposal. And he said, no, this cannot happen. And finally Bhishmaka had to relent. So he said, all right, okay, who do you want her to marry? She should only marry Shishupal, because he is such a glorious king, and so on and so on. So Bhishmaka said, all right. He was also fond of his son. You see, putra sneha, love for the son, can also lead to so many problems, as Dhritarashtra found out. So Bhishmaka very reluctantly, with a heavy heart, agreed, because he knew that otherwise it would split the family, there would be great chaos in the family. He agreed. When Rukmini heard this, she was extremely unhappy. And she was thinking, I don't want to get married to Shishupal, I only want to marry Krishna. So then she wrote a letter, a secret letter to Krishna. We will not have time today to discuss that letter. So she wrote a letter to Krishna telling him that she wishes to marry him, and that the great tragedy is about to befall her, that her brother Rukmini is going to get her married to Shishupal, and that is going to happen in a very short while. So please, Krishna, come and kidnap me and take me away and marry me. So all these things that happen in the modern day world are all perverted reflections of the original Leelas of Krishna and what they show in the cinema and this and that. It goes on. The original hero is Krishna, and the original heroine is Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan, or the queens of Dwarka like Rukmini, etc. These are the real heroines. All the heroes and heroines of this world are simply make-believe heroes and heroines. And we try to imitate the pastimes of Krishna in the Madhurya Ras, and it creates havoc everywhere. So anyway, she invited Krishna, she pleaded with Krishna, please come and kidnap me. Now the day of my marriage, in the morning, it is a custom for girls in our family that we go to the temple of goddess Ambika to get her blessings. Ambika is Durga. And when I go there, I will be walking with my maidservants. You please come at that time and kidnap me and take me away. She sent a trusted Brahmana messenger. She called him and said, please, this is top secret. Don't reveal this to anyone. This is only for your ears and Krishna's. You please carry this letter. So then the Brahmana was very faithful to Rukmini Devi. So he carried that letter and secretly slipped out of Kundina or Kaundinyapur of today. And he walked and walked and he rushed and reached Dwarka. When he came to Dwarka, he came to the court and he got the audience of Krishna. And Krishna was happy to hear that there was a letter, a secret letter from Rukmini, this daughter of King Bhishmaka. He told her, please read this letter. So the messenger Brahmana opened up the letter and he read the letter. And then Krishna said, yes, but there is only 2 days left now. So what to do? And of course there were no flights and everything in those days. But Krishna is not dependent on flights and aeroplanes. So he sat on his chariot. He told Balaram, this is the situation. I am rushing there. And you please follow me with the army. So Balaram also got the army ready. And as Krishna raced to Kundina, Balaram followed behind very closely with a huge army. Not that huge, but it was some army. So Krishna traveled all night at great speed, and all the way from Dwarka, he reached Kundina, Kaundinyapur. And at that time, Bhishmaka heard news of his arrival, and he welcomed him. He had already arranged some nice accommodation for Krishna because he knew Krishna would come. So he welcomed him with the respect and honor that was due to Krishna, and then he gave him nice accommodation, nice refreshments, etc. And then when the time came for Rukmini Devi to go to the temple of goddess Ambika, in the morning also when Krishna had not arrived, Rukmini was feeling very nervous and very sad. Oh, Krishna has still not come. What will happen? What is my destiny? What is my fate? I will have to marry this Shishupal. How unfortunate I am. At that time, she felt some twitching in her left side which indicated something auspicious was going to happen. So then she realized, yes, no, I should not get panicky. Some Krishna is going to come. He will come definitely. And sure enough, as she was returning from the temple of goddess Ambika, by which time all the kings had come. Shishupal had come, Dantavakra had come, Jarasandha had come all the way from Magadha. And they had all got their armies ready because they suspected this Krishna is going to do some mischief. So they were ready with their armies. And as Rukmini Devi was walking back, slowly, they were all gazing at Rukmini's beauty, and they could not believe how beautiful the lady was. Rukmini was known for her exceptional beauty, incomparable beauty that is not to be found in this material world anywhere. So the kings and the princes who had come, many of them fell to the ground unconscious, looking at Rukmini Devi. That was how beautiful she was. So right then, Krishna was on his chariot. He was waiting in a corner. He came at great speed, and then he lifted Rukmini Devi off from the ground, placed her in the chariot and sped off. And before anyone could even blink an eye, Rukmini Devi was missing, and she was on Krishna's chariot, and the chariot was speeding away. And this came as a great shock to Jarasandha and Shishupal and everybody, because Shishupal had come with very high expectations. Shishupal had been told by Rukmini, all you have to do is come here and Rukmini Devi will be your queen. So he came here with these hopes, and now in front of his eyes he was seeing the lady whom he hoped would be his queen getting kidnapped, placed on a chariot and driven away at rapid speed. So all the kings, including Jarasandha, Shishupal and everyone, got together their armies and they started chasing Krishna. In the meanwhile, Balaram had arrived with his army. So Balaram faced the armies of all these other kings who were competing with him and easily defeated all of them. And all the kings were defeated, their armies were all destroyed, and Krishna was racing away with Rukmini. This kind of a vivaha or a marriage is common among Kshatriyas. In school you must have heard in history lessons of Prithviraj Chauhan and Sangyukta. Yes, in school you have studied? At least in my time in school we used to have all these stories. Now I don't know whether in school they have these things. So he was also like that Rajput king. So he went on a horse and he lifted her up like that and he took. So the origin of all this comes from Krishna. So anyway, so all these kings were defeated and Shishupal became very morose. His face was downcast and he was thinking, oh, what misfortune, my life is finished now. And then Jarasandha tried to boost his morale. And he tried to tell him, don't worry, by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, you see, sometimes according to our destiny, sometimes there is victory, sometimes there is defeat. You should not get taken away by all these things. Just look at me. 17 times I was defeated by Krishna. I went to Mathura, but I never lost hope. You see, and 18th time I emerged victorious. So who knows, today you have been defeated, but the tides of time will change, and tomorrow you will be the victor. So why do you become sad like this? So Shishupal became a little bit satisfied. Okay, there is hope, maybe someday something, but now she's already taken away. What can be done? In the meanwhile, Rukmi, the brother of Rukmini, could not tolerate this. And he became very furious. And he said, I will go and bring back Rukmini and Krishna. And I will punish Krishna. And I will not return till I bring back Rukmini and Krishna here. I will not set foot in Kundina till I bring them back. So this is called a decision made in the mode of passion. In mode of passion, when you make decisions, you don't consider everything. You don't consider that the person you're challenging is Krishna. So he didn't have that wisdom, that depth of intelligence and knowledge to understand that you can never defeat Krishna. He was such a powerful adversary, but in the heat of the moment, with a rush of blood to his head, Rukmi decided, I take a vow. In front of everybody he said that. I take a vow that I will never set foot in this city again till I bring Krishna and Rukmini back. So he went on his chariot, and Krishna saw Rukmini coming. So he also fought with Rukmini and very easily defeated him. And then at that time, Krishna wanted to kill him, but Rukmini Devi fell at Krishna's feet and said, "He's my brother, please don't kill him." So then Krishna, with his sword, he just cut off portions of the hair of Rukmini from his head. So it was like a humiliation. You see, he shaved off portions of the hair from his head. So that is a symbol of Rukmini's defeat and humiliation. So when you go back like that, then everybody knows that you are defeated. And for a Kshatriya to go back defeated is a disgrace, you see. You either die in the battlefield or you come back victorious. And especially after he has taken such a vow. So then Rukmini was helpless. At that time, Balaram, having defeated the armies of Jarasandha and others, he came to the spot where Krishna was with Rukmini. And then he saw what Krishna had done to Rukmini, and he did not approve of it. He said, "Krishna, you have not done the right thing. Just think what will happen to Rukmini, how bad she will feel, that you have disgraced and humiliated her brother in such a way." So anyway, so Balaram somehow pacified Rukmini so that she was also happy. In the meanwhile, Rukmini was thinking, how can I go back now? Publicly I have taken a vow that I will never set foot in Kundina again. And now Krishna is going away with Rukmini. So then he never entered Kundinapur. He set up a place to live outside the city. He never entered in. And later, of course, there were many other pastimes that happened between Balaram and Rukmini. That comes much later. But today our subject is Rukmini Devi. So then Rukmini Devi was brought back to Dwarka, and with great pomp and splendor and with great opulence, the marriage of Krishna took place with Rukmini. She is his senior-most queen, the principal queen of Krishna, the number one queen, the leader amongst all the gopis. I beg your pardon, the queens of Dwarka. How many queens did Krishna have? 16,108. Of these, 8 queens were known as the principal queens, and 16,100 were other queens. And of these 8 principal queens, Rukmini was the senior most. Now, of course, Krishna, being Krishna, could expand himself into 16,108 forms, exactly identical, and be with each queen in each of the palaces at the same time. Now, this is not possible for any human being. So Krishna demonstrated his godhood and his opulence. Many times people criticize Krishna. Oh, he married 16,108 queens. What kind of God is he? The answer is, well, that proves that he is God. Who can marry 16,108 queens and still maintain them in so much opulence and give them one palace each and be present with each of them simultaneously, so that no queen feels that Krishna is not paying attention to me? It may happen even when one husband, one wife, they may feel not giving time to me. But here there are 16,108 queens, and Krishna kept every single queen completely satisfied. That is the proof of Krishna's godhood. So then Rukmini Devi married, and then gradually one after the other queens also came in. And eventually Krishna got 16,108. Who was the eldest son of Rukmini and Krishna? Pradyumna. Who was the eldest son of Pradyumna? Aniruddha. And who was the great son of Aniruddha? Vajranabh. Vajranabh was the one who established most of the original deities of Vrindavan. So he has a very great role to play in re-establishing the pastime places of Krishna in Vrindavan. So we actually owe a great deal to Vajranabh. If it were not for him, we would not have had these original deities of Vrindavan. So in any case, from each of the queens, Krishna had 10 sons. And so you can imagine how the population multiplied. So Rukmini Devi, her nature was that she was very soft and submissive. And another queen, Satyabhama, was a little fiery by temperament. She was a little strong by temperament. So Rukmini and Satyabhama were quite different in their natures. So one time what happened was that Satyabhama was thinking that Krishna loves me more than any other queen. And his heart is attracted to me more than anywhere else. Rukmini Devi was very quiet. She would not say anything. She was quietly serving Krishna in very devoted fashion. One time Narad Muni came and he wanted to demonstrate the glories of Rukmini Devi. And he understood what Satyabhama Devi was doing. Now Satyabhama Devi is also an eternal associate of Krishna, so we cannot speak of her in an inferior light. But here we are talking on that platform of some things going on between the two queens of Krishna. So Satyabhama, Narad Muni wanted to show Satyabhama that actually Rukmini was a greater devotee of Krishna. So then he went up to Satyabhama. When Satyabhama was saying this, he said, actually, Rukmini has greater love for Krishna than you, and Krishna has greater love for her than for you. So Satyabhama said, no, how is it possible? Not possible. He said, yes. Okay, let me devise a test. Let us do an experiment. Now you give Krishna in charity to me, and then you will have to buy Krishna back from me. Agreed? Yes. What is the price? The price will be, we will have a weighing scale, and we will make Krishna sit on one pan of the scale, and you will have to put enough gold and diamonds and jewels on the other pan so that it equals the weight of Krishna. So that much wealth you will have to give to purchase Krishna back. And by doing that, actually Krishna will love you even more than before. So he tempted Satyabhama like that. So Satyabhama was thinking, that's a very good thing. And then you will show that you are actually the most exalted queen of Krishna. But he started to tease her. I don't think you will have enough wealth for that. She said, no, how do you say that? I will make sure I gather all the wealth that is needed to be equal to the weight of Krishna. So then the other queens were very anxious, thinking, oh Satyabhama, don't sell Krishna, don't donate Krishna like this. You are giving Krishna in charity. What will happen to us? No, don't do that. But Satyabhama was insistent. So she gave Krishna in charity to Narad Muni. So Narad Muni said, now Krishna is my property. Now if you want Krishna, you have to give wealth, you have to purchase him. So Tulabharam, that happened, the scale was brought. Krishna sat in one pan of the scale. And then Satyabhama brought all her jewels and diamonds and everything, and she started placing it on the other pan. But it would not move at all. Krishna's side of the pan was so heavy that this side would not move. Now Satyabhama Devi was in a really embarrassing position. What to do? So left with no alternative, she went to the other queens. Please give me all your jewels and diamonds so that we have to buy Krishna back. So naturally the queens were also anxious that Krishna should come back. So they also gave all their jewels and diamonds and everything. And then they placed on top of that pan. But still the pan on which Krishna was sitting was too heavy. So what to do now? At that time again Satyabhama Devi had to swallow her pride. Of course this is spiritual pride. We cannot compare this pride. And so Satyabhama's dealings and her pride we cannot compare to the ordinary mundane pride that we have. Yes, so this is all happening on the transcendental platform of pure love of Godhead by eternal associates of the Lord. So then she had to swallow her pride, and the only way was to go to Rukmini for help. So she went to Rukmini, please save us now. I have got us all into this very deep problem. What should we do? So Rukmini Devi came, she folded her hands in prayer to Krishna. Then she took one tulsi leaf and she placed it on the other pan. And immediately that pan became heavier than Krishna, became equal. And then they were able to buy back Krishna from Narad Muni. And the queens of Dwarka once again had Krishna with them. So many times this pastime is narrated to illustrate the glories of tulsi leaf. Even one tulsi leaf is enough to please Krishna. Yes, that lesson. Very important lesson for us. You have all heard the Bhagavad Gita shloka, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upaharitam ashnami prayatatmanaha, where Krishna says that if someone offers me a leaf, a fruit, a flower or some water with devotion, I will accept it happily. So the word patra or leaf specifically refers to the tulsi leaf. If you want to please Krishna, offer him tulsi leaf. If you have gold and diamonds, offer by all means. It's not that you have so much diamonds and jewels, but you'll offer to Krishna only one tulsi because you want the gold and diamonds for yourself. Not like that. But the point is that even if you don't have any money, but if you have one tulsi, that is enough to purchase Krishna. Especially when that tulsi leaf is offered with some sandalwood paste, chandan, at the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna is completely captured by such a devotee. So through this pastime we learn the glories of Tulsi Devi, but we can also learn the glories of Rukmini Devi, of how it was she who actually saved the day for all the queens of Dwarka. So there are many pastimes like this of Rukmini Devi. Tomorrow is her appearance day. If possible in the morning, perhaps we may change the topic from creation of the universe as was this morning. Perhaps we may continue discussing Rukmini Devi's glories and some of her pastimes. We don't have enough time to go through some of these verses and chapters, but perhaps tomorrow morning we'll talk of some other pastimes in brief. And now we have, what is the time? 6:25. So we have other festivals here tonight, many other wonderful programs ahead. So we will stop here and participate in all the festivities of the day here in Narasimha Giridhari Temple. Srimati Rukmini Devi ki jai, Shri Rukmini Dwarkadhish ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, so what is the program now? Who is here from the temples? Make announcement?
Hare Krishna, we request all the devotees now to go downstairs for the Narasimha Arati and the Pallaki Seva for Narasimha. Hare Krishna.
No, 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 no. She knew that Krishna loves Tulsi so much, Hare Krishna, that he will be very happy.
But it was not as per the terms that Rukmini had said.
Yeah, Tulsi is the greatest wealth.
Bhakti Rasamrta Swami Maharaj ki Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much for joining us on the first day of this Rukmini. So the highlight of today's evening program now is the lecture by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrta Maharaj. We will be waiting in the next event. The next event is the Pallaki Utsava of our most beloved Rukmini Nrsimhadev Bhagavan. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki. Alright, so it will start now. We will be the next 5 minutes to maybe 10 minutes to go down the circle there. So the Lord will be offered this Pallaki Seva. We offer this Seva once in a year. We go around the temple. It's a very, what should I say? Very special